About 3 years ago on this channel, I shared my original design for a Mario Kart card game. It's based off of the play mechanics of UNO, even though I made a number of changes. To this day, it's one of the completed projects that I'm most proud of. Imagine my surprise when I found out that late last year, UNO brought out their own version of a Mario Kart card game. I simply had to get a copy right away and see what similarities they shared. So join me while I explain the history of my game, talk about the rules, and see how they compare to each other. Special Edition UNO decks are nothing new, there are hundreds of them. There are even other Nintendo-themed versions, Super Mario, Pokemon, The Legend of Zelda, and even this original Nintendo Special Edition. Most of these themed editions have new artwork and only one change to the core game. They add an additional type of wildcard and a new rule that explains its use. In this version, for example, in addition to the 108 standard UNO cards, they've added 4 power cards. These Starman adorned cards can be played anytime as a standard wild or as a response to a draw 2 or wild draw 4, both negating the attack and allowing you to change the color in play. As much as I appreciate special editions like this, I found this one extra rule and card to be pretty underwhelming actually. It was this bit of disappointment that led me to want to design my own card game in the first place. I wanted a card game that had much more of the theme attached than just a single special card. I tinkered on the game design for a while and I had a few revisions, but what I finally settled on was this. As I mentioned, rules are inspired by UNO and Crazy 8s, but the card distribution is unique to my game. Most of the cards are as you would expect, with numbered cards 1 to 8 in 4 colors, but what's different is that nearly a third of the deck is devoted to Mario Kart attack items. This allows for quite a bit more frantic action, much like you would expect from racing laps in a Mario Kart game. With that many attack possibilities, I balanced it by making sure they aren't overpowered, and including my own version of the Superstar card. I also themed the 4 different wild cards to Mario Kart's item boxes. Overall, I really liked the design of my game. One of the goals was to keep it simple enough for kids to play, but give enough opportunities for choice and strategy to advanced players. I did this by adding elements like having hidden information about what's in your opponent's hand and increasing play interactions between non-adjacent players, like how the red shell can be targeted to any player at the table. With the right cards, all players have an opportunity to interrupt the current hand leader regardless of play position, or you can team up against the player with the point lead. On this front, I feel like I succeeded while still keeping the game light and accessible. Upon playing it, I have found one way in which it may have missed the mark, but I'll explain that more in a moment. For now, let's see how it stacks up to the official competition. Around the world, there have been a number of official table game adaptations of Mario Kart. 2018's Millborn Mario Kart and Monopoly Gamer Mario Kart, 2013's Mario Kart 7 Super Sound Racing game, all the way back to Super Mario Kart the card game, which looks to have been a Japanese exclusive from 2000. But we're here to take a look at this latest release, 2020's UNO Mario Kart from Mattel Games. Open it up and you'll find pretty much what you'd expect in an UNO game, lots of numbered cards in the expected colors. There are standard UNO action cards, skip, reverse, draw 2, and the dreaded wild draw 4, but look at this. The remaining wild cards are themed to Mario Kart item boxes. What an amazing coincidence! Let's compare this to mine. Pretty similar. Let me explain their new rule. When you play this wild item box card, you overturn the next card from the draw pile and play it. Every card has an item icon on it that is otherwise ignored until the wild card is played. For whatever item is on the overturned card, you get to carry out that action. There are 5 items. Mushroom allows you to take another turn. Banana Peel makes the previous player draw 2 cards. Green Shell lets you choose a player to draw a card. Lightning makes every other player draw a card, and Bob-omb actually makes you draw 2 cards, but then you get to pick the play color. And yet again, these items show some stark similarities to my game. In my game, if you play the Boo wild card, you must also draw a card and can play it if it is an item card. My item cards give similar actions. My Mushroom lets you take another turn. My Red Shell lets you pick a player to force to draw. In my game, the Lightning Bolt makes every other player draw. And in my game, the Banana attacks the previous player. So what do you think? Has someone from Mattel found my game and lifted ideas from it? I personally highly doubt it. I think this is just an example of parallel development. We each were adapting elements from a popular video game into a card game, and we simply found a similar way to implement some of these elements. I'll forever take pride in knowing that the ideas I used were good enough that a major game publisher also used them in an officially licensed Nintendo game, and that's pretty cool. But what do I think about their game? I like it. I like it quite a bit. Let me explain by finishing my comparison. Upon playing my game with other players, I think my game has a little too much going on. It's not that it's complicated at all, I just don't think understanding the abundance of attacks is as intuitive as the simple gameplay. Mattel's game, on the other hand, provides a simple and streamlined experience. Where my game asks you to understand 8 attacks, a shield, and 4 different wildcards all at the same time, their game only asks you to know the few standard UNO action cards, and a new extra set of actions only under certain conditions. It's still not much more than standard UNO, but with one new rule, but I really appreciate the way the Mario Kart items have been implemented through their design. Even with my game's shortcoming, I'm still very proud of the work I put into the design and the artwork, and even though I'm biased, I think it's a lot of fun. My game is available for free in print and play form on my website that I've linked below. Mattel's game can be found at many retailers, and I've linked to the Amazon listing if you are interested. Thank you for joining me in another video. I always hope you get something out of my tangents. Don't forget to sub, share, and comment, and until next time, be safe and take care.